Hey there folks, Jumpest here, bringing another audio commentary. And today we have a game between Hawk, who's obviously a human player, and Lucifer, who's obviously an undead player, on Twisted Meadows. Obviously a very interesting matchup and a great map for this matchup as well, just because there's so many different options you have for actually either player. I think in a sense the human sort of guides how this matchup goes, similar to how in, for example, Elf versus Orc, the Elf really dictates how the matchup works out. But there's some leeway certainly for Lucifer to add some of his own flair in terms of what units he wants to go for at tier 2, whether he wants to get a quick tier 3, whether frost worms are in the works for him, or if he wants to go for that destroyer push that used to be really popular but has sort of fallen out of favor recently. Certainly there's a lot of options, but Hawk really gets to decide how this matchup goes. You can go for the fast expansion, or you can go for sort of one base play, and then you can go for sort of really heavy tier 3 units. You can go for like knights, things like that, or you can go for air, or you can even try and get away with casters depending on what Lucifer has gone for. And meanwhile we do have Hawk getting his very early Archmage, and actually, wow, this altar was very late from Lucifer. It looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of ghouls being brought out first, and he's even built a sick acolyte by the looks of things. Just go do some scouting. It's a good choice on this 4-player map, because you do want to know where your opponent is, so you can do that scouting as soon as possible. And actually, yeah, this altar is very late. I'm starting to wonder if it's a tavern build even. It looks like we will be having Hawk pop out his Archmage, and we'll be bringing up one Royal Elemental immediately so we can get that second one out quickly, and is bringing 7 Militia with him. That should be enough to creep this out safely, assuming you don't get really unlucky. Meanwhile, we do have, we have a Dreadlord being built. Very interesting play here by Lucifer. I wonder what the reasoning behind that is, because really it's quite risky to try and do that, because it just, if you do get if it was a Mountain King first or something from Hawk, which admittedly isn't too likely on this map, he would be in a lot of trouble, but it seems like he will be okay. Although, actually, I'm starting to wonder if he's just going to cancel it, because he does have a couple ghouls running down here, and they do actually have backpack. Have they bought items? Yes, it has bought a skeleton rod, so I think that he is going to cancel that and buy a hero at the tavern. The question is going to be, what hero will he buy at that tavern? Meanwhile, his creeping has finished up. Belt of Giant Strength, fantastic item, and Panda first here for Lucifer. Really brilliant hero. I was thinking it might be the Dark Ranger, considering that he could have used that Acolyte to scout out what was going on. Scout it, as long as it wasn't a Mountain King first. The Dark Ranger is actually really good in that situation, but it seems like actually a Panda will be fine as well. I mean, obviously Hawk is going to have lots of low hit point units, so the Panda is very useful. And meanwhile, we can see we even had Drunken Haze being chosen first here for Lucifer, just because that's actually a bit better for creeping in terms of the amount of damage you take, though it does mean it actually takes a bit longer to do that creeping. But Lucifer going to do this creeping very nicely. Has already brought up one set of skeletons, we'll be bringing up another set in the second, and Hawk now going to be creeping to level 3. Once he creeps out, once he finishes that camp and creeps out this camp, that will be enough for level 3, assuming that's his plan. And looks like he's not going for it actually. Maybe he's going to turn around. Looks like one skeleton, going to scout out what's going on. Fantastic item though for Hawk though, picking up that +6 strength. Very useful, although less so useful when it's against the Panda as opposed to being against the Death Knight. But it'd be interesting to see what Lucifer wants to do for a second hero, because I think the Death Knight's going to be a lot less useful, because it's ghouls, so coil isn't going to be that important for healing them up, because it just isn't too useful after level 1 coil, and you don't need to heal up your hero because you can't with a coil on a Panda. So very interesting to see what if Lucifer's going to go solo Panda. I guess that could work out quite well. Get a high level Panda, just get some amazing Drunken Hazes off and stuff, but we'll have to see. Hawk going to be creeping out this expansion, and looks like he will be taking it as well. That's a very good choice, although you will need to be careful, because obviously Lucifer's done some very amazing creeping, actually getting +6 intelligence for his Panda, actually no, +10 intelligence overall now for his Panda, because of those 2 circuits. Fantastic items there for this Panda overall. He does even have the staff to get out of here, but I think we could be seeing some fantastic Breath of Fire, assuming, yes, he is creeping this camp out, so he will be getting level 2 Breath of Fire before he gets in here, and I think this could be the problem with Hawk trying to take this expansion. One Footman is going out to scout. That's fantastically timed there by Hawk. He will hopefully try and get in the way. Look at that level 3 timing for Lucifer. perfect, perfect, perfect. Gonna maybe get out of Drunken Haze first. No, he just goes for the simple Breath of Fire, brings up a couple skeletons. Those will harass, and Lucifer will probably be turning around to do one more Breath of Fire in a second there. He does have the boots and the staff in case he gets surrounded or something careless there. But it looks like he is coming back in. Will Hawk is spreading out his peasants. Very, very nice. And Lucifer does not get as many kills as he was hoping to get. But it looks like we do now have Lucifer starting his tech. And he has put up this Nerubian tower as well, because obviously he doesn't have the mobility to get back home because he doesn't have that unholy aura. So, good choice to have that, just in case his army is caught out. And looks like, ooh, look at this, Cannibalize even being picked up for Lucifer here, so he can heal off. That's a skill we absolutely never see being researched. Very interesting play here by Lucifer, and Hawk now. Actually, I guess that's going to be good for healing up if he's not building too many goals, which it looks like he isn't. And we do have Hawk doing a bit of harassment, but he will eventually lose this, and we'll have to see. Maybe Lucifer will target this Nerubian tower on another building, just so we can be sure he gets the kill. And actually, he doesn't do that, unfortunately. But it looks like we will be having Lucifer bringing in a lot of these goals here. I wonder, one of them picked up a circlet. Did it pass? I'm not sure what happened to that circuit that got picked up there. Looks like we have a haze fire going off here on Hawk, actually losing the one footman immediately, and this Archmage does need to be worried about being surrounded, but can run away because he does have a boots if need be. And actually, this one goal going to be run home. Very, very nice play there. And looks like Lucifer will come and try and get another haze fire off. Still that plus 10 intelligence, so fantastic. 420 maximum mana. Brilliant, brilliant there. And now that's Arcane Tower completely powerless basically against the ghouls. And Lucifer coming in yet again. The Arcane Tower is refocused, and looks like actually Lucifer taking far too many hits. But oh, so close to getting that Breath of Fire, but just takes a few too many hits from that Arcane Tower. Really, really unfortunate there for Lucifer, but he will be taking out a bunch of these units just with his ghouls. Very, very nice play there by him. And we do now have Hawk trying to clean this up, and obviously level 2 water elementals are fantastic in this situation. The panda being able to run back in, do a bit more damage, and looks like that the one footman goes down. There's only one footman left now for Hawk, and actually Lucifer losing a lot of goals. So he does actually lose that one with the circlet. And what happened to that circlet there? Oh, he just picked it up with another goal. Very, very nice. He will want to run this goal away, and looks like Hawk's caught on to this and will be trying to chase that down. Even drops in the Rod of Necromancy so he can pick up that circlet. Very, very nice. And actually, did he, yeah, he even transferred that to his goal, but he should just kill it now. Although he might just be better to leave it alone. Oh, look, he even drops it. Drops one item to use that last charge on the Rod of Necromancy once the cooldown and finish. Very, very nice play there by Lucifer, not giving anything away to Hawk at all, but taking a lot of damage on his panda in the process. And the expansion is finally up, but Hawk so far behind in tech, still only tier 1. Lumber Mill not even, just barely started now. We already have Lucifer taking to tier 3, 2 slaughterhouses on the way, so we could be seeing some sort of actually no, if we saw one slaughterhouse, I would say we could be seeing the fiend push that we often see with a Death Knight, obviously, and then a couple statues and 1 or 2 meat wagons. But since we're seeing 2 slaughterhouses, I'm starting to think we're going to be seeing that destroyer push, which is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty strong strategy still. I mean, we will have one of these slaughterhouses. It looks like it probably will be cancelled, but in the meantime, Hawk's going to take a lot of damage. Does actually manage to micro back a couple of his footmen. That's very, very nice there for him. But Lucifer now going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Archmage if he wants to, although actually look, that's not what he's going for. He's finally maybe going to go for it, but I think really that would be the best target here. Even though this water elemental has a huge damage output, it just is not, it's just so much harder to take down this Archmage, at least chase him away, and then that sort of stops the stem of those water elementals coming out quite frequently. And Lucifer now is tier 2, no second hero on the way by the looks of things, so he's just going to be going solo panda for the meanwhile. And this panda now level 4 with 3 circlets plus 12 intelligence. Absolutely ridiculous, almost doubling the amount of intelligence he should have, and that's just so much, so good, especially once he gets some statues out, which he is actually getting his first statue out already. That's going to be so powerful. This Archmage now down to 47 hit points. Need to be very, very careful. This panda doesn't have enough mana for a Breath of Fire if he can catch up or get a staff to a unit closer, but it looks like he can't quite get there in time, and will need to just find other targets. And actually, it's a whole lot of low footmen here for Hawk, and hopefully Hawk will spread them out now. Looks like one Breath of Fire comes in, kills one footman, but Lucifer knows he needs to get out. There's so many towers being built, and already one Arcane Tower up, and looks like this Archmage now getting caught out. No mana for the Breath of Fire now, unfortunately, so that's maybe the panda could just run in at this point. Doesn't need to worry if it's around. It is low on health, so it does need to be bit cautious, but it looks like this Archmage will be able to heal up. Very, very nice there, and actually using a Clarity Potion as well to bring back some mana, because so much was lost earlier on. And we do now have this destroyer, a huge number of destroyers actually being built, and this panda now using a staff to get home, I assume. Yeah, I think he even sold his TP, so Really, we've had such aggressive play here by Lucifer. Very, very nice. You know, Lucifer selling one item so that he can presumably, yes, there he goes. He buys a Orb of Corruption. Really, such brilliant items here on this panda. He sold his Staff of TP there, which suggests he's going to be using a bit more of a actual army from now on, as opposed to just going all out with his panda doing some kamikaze missions in. And it looks like we will be having this panda goes for the Breath of Fire, does manage to cancel the clarity and the salve on that Archmage, but it was about to run out anyways, and looks like we will be having Lucifer actually finally in a bit of trouble, being pushed by a lot of these footmen and not enough mana regenerated yet on his panda to get a good Breath of Fire off, and it still is only level 2 Breath of Fire, finally gets one Breath of Fire off, but needs to be getting that mana back as quickly as possible, just so that he can get more of them off. It looks like he will be getting one footman kill here, maybe a second. No, let's see, he's redirecting his attention to this water elemental, doesn't want to be taking damage on this statue, considering that he can't use the Unholy Aura to heal it up, which is the only way of healing up a statue. And actually, he's not even going to have coils to heal up his destroyers, which is going to be very, very interesting for him, because coils are so important because it's so good value for money to coil up your destroyers, because they're so expensive, and you can sort of a level 2 or level 3 coil gets you such good value on a destroyer, but that's not going to be the case in this situation. Looks like we will be having actually these footmen being caught yet again. Haze goes off, Breath of Fire goes off, and all these footmen are down to very low health. One will go down immediately, and another one will be going down very, very soon. The couple of destroyers being morphed now, one of them with full mana, one of them with no mana. Obviously the first one can never have any mana, and looks like two more footmen will be picked off before Lucifer turns around. He's almost level 5 now on his panda. That could be so nice for harassing, but look how many towers Hawk is putting up. Really being worried. Already has the first masonry upgrade, not getting the second, although it's tier 2 just finishing, doesn't have the money for the next masonry upgrade quite yet, and it looks like we will be having so many destroyers being morphed, even being morphed before they quite need to be. Maybe that's because Lucifer's going to be doing some creeping here. That'd be very ambitious just for this tiny bit of experience, and yeah, it looks like that's what he's going to be going for, or maybe not. Looks like we do have a counterattack here in Lucifer's base. Maybe Lucifer's going to have to TP back. It'd be a bit of a shame, because it's not too big an attack, but Hawk has picked up a Zeppelin. I'm not sure how useful that's going to be against those destroyers, and we do have Lucifer now doing this creeping, has already hit level 5, picking up a Flute of Accuracy. Excellent item there for him. It's going to give him a bunch of extra damage here on his destroyers, and we do have obviously on the statues as well, but that's less of a big deal. And Hawk looks like he's lost all his footmen now, just left with his level 3 Archmage and one Water Elemental, and there's a Septum, which I don't quite understand, unless it's to try and trick Lucifer into thinking that Hawk's gone for an expansion on the island or something, but there's just not been enough time for that to happen. Hawk now going to lose his Shredder. That's huge. To lose that Shredder just gives so much experience, and just so expensive. Very unfortunate. Nice Breath of Fire takes a lot of these peasants down to low health, and looks like another Breath of Fire will be forthcoming from this panda very, very soon. Looks like the peasants aren't going to be able to run away in time, and there it goes. They're very, very nice. Tier 3 on the way now for Hawk, but it's going to be a long time in the works, and there's not going to be a lot for him before then by the looks of things. And we do now have this one water elemental immediately being absorbed. This one destroyer now down to very low health, does need to be sent somewhere away just to be just to let heal up naturally, which is a bit of a shame. Meanwhile, we do have this Mount King now popping out just in time, just before the altar is taken down. Panda though is almost level 6 now. Very, very nice now for Lucifer, who's now doing a huge amount of focus on this Mount King. Does have enough mana for another bolt if he needs to go for it, which I think he probably will be going for as soon as possible. No, the Breath of Fire goes off too quickly, and it looks like that Mount King will go down, will need to be rebuilt, but no altar, so it's going to take a while, unless you want to tavern it back, which you really don't want to have to do on a level 1 hero. And we do have this one low destroyer. I think should probably just be sent to attack a farm or something out of the way that's not really a threat, that Hawk isn't going to go and kill that destroyer. But looks he's actually coming back in. Hawk now rebuilding some of these towers, but being forced to cancel. Hawk does have a bunch of towers, but they're not in a position to defend a lot of these buildings. Even this castle could, or the even this main could be attacked maybe by the destroyers. I think they probably could be. And we do have the second masonry upgrade done for these buildings, and it looks like we do have the Archmage finally hitting level 4 here for Hawk, but level 6 on the panda is just so huge. Really, really very, very nice here for Lucifer, who will be able to get Storm, Earth, and Fire eventually, but it will take a while. Finally, some statues being brought in to do some healing up on these destroyers, and even bring in some mana for this panda. And obviously, the level 3 Breath of Fire will annihilate these guard towers, especially considering this is 1.26 patch, which the masonry upgrades have been changed, and looks like we will be having Lucifer now doing some damage to this Archmage. Obviously, he does have that orb, so it does need to get those hits in, but it is melee, so it does take a bit more effort to try and get those hits in. And we do have, oh, look at this, 3 Griffin Aviators going up, and Dragonhawk Riders coming up for Hawk. He is rebuilding his Mount King as well, though when it comes out, it's only got enough mana for 1 bolt, and 1 bolt at this point isn't going to be able to do much to this almost full health Panda, which actually doesn't have much mana, because I guess he's even doing a lot of Breath of Fires. Doesn't be wary of that though. Just he needs to have some mana for the engagement, which he knows must be coming. He probably knows he can't take down this castle in time. Meanwhile, we do have this the castle is down to half health, but I think we will have enough we will have enough Dragonhawk Riders out soon for Hawk to try and engage at very least, and to try and push back Lucifer for a little bit at least. Well, the Archmage is coming back in. Will he even bother to make a water elemental, or is it just too much fodder there for Lucifer? Looks like he isn't bothering at the moment, and another Breath of Fire goes off. Some of these towers are now getting very, very low, so a couple of these farms, and the Hawk actually at 42 out of 40 food, so if he loses a couple more farms, he could be in trouble. Mount King runs back in, but it will be chased away. Obviously, just level 6 Panda versus level 1 Mount King, especially with these items, is so risky. And we do actually have a meat wagon out. This is a great choice. Maybe it's going to allow this castle to actually be taken down. Finally, these Dragonhawk Riders being brought in, but it looks like it's too little too late. Too much healing has gone on from these destroyers. This one meat wagon is going to be focused first, because it does go down very, very quickly, but that's just going to give a distraction for Lucifer to actually do a lot of focus here on this Mount King, who does down to 40 hit points. One less hit, taking down to 22, 5 hit points, and it looks like that Mount King is going to be under chase. And oh, Breath of Fire goes off, and it misses, and finally a destroyer gets the hit in, and but actually a lot of time wasted there for Lucifer, who's actually now going to have to do a lot more damage to this castle. Not enough mana from the Breath of Fire here on this Panda. Panda will need to be wary, actually, running into all these towers. So it's a shame there's no Arcane Tower here, but still very, very risky here for Lucifer. Although I guess once he knows there's no bolt out, he's a bit happier, but still it's pretty bad. And now these destroyers can be focused down very, very easily, because they do take a lot of damage from those towers, and looks like these towers will eventually be taken down. Archmage comes back in just to get a couple more hits off. All the Dragonhawk Riders coming back in as well. They do have Animal War Training, which is a huge upgrade to have, because it just gives so much more health, which is so important in this situation. Mount King's on the way back, and look how many towers there are at that expansion. That expansion surely won't be going down to Lucifer's relentless aggression. And meanwhile, at Lucifer's home, he does have, looks like nothing in production at the moment. Actually has built another tower in the back, just in case of, I think, Zeppelin attacks, maybe. But it looks like we will be having finally Hawk being able to chase away Lucifer here. Lucifer with one of these destroyers a bit low, and will need to be healing it back up. Oh my god, Alchemist being picked up second, and if we see Acid Bomb, yes, we do see Acid Bomb being trained here. That's so much armor reduction for if you combine it with the orb, and that can be very, very powerful if Lucifer actually manages to get those off on, say, one hero. That can be so powerful, because obviously destroyers, if you can get mana on them as well, have a very high DPS, so you can really do a huge amount of damage. And actually Acid Bomb works very, very well against air in general anyways, because it has that super long range, as we see there when against flying units. And you can see already -3 armor. If we get another if we get a hit from the Panda off there, it'll go down to -8 armor, which is just or I guess -7 once you take into account it starts with 1. But really just such a huge armor reduction. Very interesting combination here, and we almost never see the Alchemist. Acid Bomb going off here on these peasants, gonna take down one of the peasants by the looks of things. Actually, maybe not. Acid Bomb doesn't do a huge amount of damage by itself. One of these destroyers, very, very low, 6 health, is taken down, and that will be the cue for Hawk to retreat. Maybe go back and build up some more. Bear in mind, it's still sort of 1.1 bases to 1 base, so really Hawk does still, in theory, have a slight economic lead. It's just he's having to spend so much on all this repairing, and again, we have Hawk coming in, beginning Acid Bombed, and getting focused down by a huge number of destroyers, some of which do have a good amount of mana. Nice Breath of Fire there, takes down a couple on peasants, and Lucifer just going to come in and take down the last couple of these peasants. Oh, actually, he's leaving one to live, because it looks like we do have a Hawk moving him yet again. Lots of his units are very, very low in health, but it looks like we do have this Alchemist actually using a huge amount of mana so far. It is relying a lot on these statues for both health and mana regeneration, and this Alchemist now going to finish taking out this castle with the help of the destroyers, and we will be having Lucifer maybe moving back home now, because there's not really too much else here worth killing. Not really worth getting the lumber mill, and the barracks probably won't be used for a little while. So we will be having, maybe is Hawk to take another expansion just because he wants to be ahead in some sense, and being ahead economically is a good choice. You know, we can see Lucifer now feeling very confident, buying a lot of items that are going to make him feel safe. Things like a TP and in Bon Pot, and he should probably regenerate a lot more mana on his Panda as well. It would be nice, I think, to buy a mana potion because he make him so effective if he drops all his items. But I think that would just be so important in this situation, just to get that Storm Earth and Fire so that he can get away from bolts, things like that. And it looks like we do have a very powerful creep jack here by Lucifer, TP being forced. A lot of these Dragonhawk Riders are very low. Hawk going to be losing 2 of them there before the TP goes, and it looks like we're having Lucifer just finishing off this creeping Chemical Rage being the second skill choice there for the Alchemist. No surprise there, because Healing Spray not too useful really ever, and this Ogre Mage are going to be taken down for the last item, but I think the good item there did go to Hawk, which was, yeah, look, plus 300 health for his Mount King. Very nice item. If he could actually make good use of it, that would be very nice, but it seems like that's going to be pretty tricky there for him, just because he's being so constantly attacked. He's never going to have the time to heal up fully to that maximum 1150 hit points, and you know, we do have this Alchemist already level 3, even though he's creeping with the Panda just for to save some time, and we do have Lucifer now. Look, he's actually getting a second attack upgrade there. Nice upgrades there for him. Actually, I didn't even know he had the first one, but the second or third one now popping now for him. So very strong upgrades for Lucifer. He's just going to be able to do a lot of damage to these towers, but actually they don't have the third Masonry upgrade yet either. But especially with that Breath of Fire, he's going to be able to take down the towers pretty quickly, although that one Breath of Fire wasn't particularly fantastic there. And it looks like we will be having Lucifer actually taking this expansion, as well as putting up in Necropolis as well, so he's going to try and commit to keeping it, which is quite bold from him, considering the position of it, and considering that Hawk does have air units as well. It's going to be pretty tricky for him to actually defend that from just some constant harassment. And we do have Hawk. Looks like he knows he can't really fight this off quite yet, so he's going to do a bit more creeping. If he can tank with his water elementals as well, he won't actually take any damage, or he won't take much damage at least, and that will allow him to get some good items and maybe be able to fight this off a bit later. You know, it looks like Lucifer unwilling to fight within the range of these towers, which is very sensitive, because there's a whole lot of towers. Keep now coming back up here for Hawk, because he does want all those benefits from tier 2, which he has lost from losing that castle. And it looks like we do have a Staff of Silence being picked up here by the looks of things. Yeah, Staff of Silence going off there, which is actually, I suppose it's alright. It's not the best item though. You know, we do have the natural gold mine for Lucifer is done. Obviously this gold mine's still here because it's not being mined from, but looks like all these acolytes will be transferred over here. Lucifer now, I'm really surprised he took this camp. I guess it's just because it already had been crapped out and this one hadn't been, but still it's very bold there by him to take this expansion, considering how likely it is to be harassed. And we do have Lucifer now. It does actually have this Scroll of the Beast, which is pretty useless here, considering it can't hit the destroyers. It would be really nice to see him sell it and maybe buy some other items instead. And we do now have Banshees as well as Banshee Adept training on the way. That's just going to be nice against those bolts. Very strong play here by Lucifer. He could have an entirely magic immune army if he just used anti-magic shield on his 2 heroes and the 1 Banshee obviously, which he would need to use, and that would render the Mountain King almost completely useless. Mountain King actually picking up Potion of Greater Mana, very good item, as well as hitting level 3. We know that Archmage hitting level 5, but really Archmage level isn't too important at this point, because any water elementals created are just going to be absolutely taken down so quickly by the destroyers, and really it will just hurt Hawk a lot more than it'll help him. But here comes Hawk into the expansion of Lucifer. Lucifer is putting up a sacrificial pit, which is a great thing to block with because it is very cheap and has a lot of health, but at the same time it just isn't quite enough to actually block from the air units obviously. And you know, we do have a TP in here by Lucifer getting silence, but it isn't quite in time. Let's see, he did get the haze off but not the Breath of Fire, and we do have Chemical Rage now finished, or now being used here by Lucifer. Very nice there for him. It's actually very useful against these Dragonhawks, but it looks like this Panda actually taking a lot of damage. Just need to be careful. Doesn't have an invuln pot or anything, so it does need to run forward a bit to the back. Could be past the invuln pot actually, but looks like, oh, Robe of Magic being dropped. A nice bolt dodge there, just as the bolt was in the air. He uses an invuln pot. Fantastic play there by Lucifer, and it looks like Hawk going to be chased away. This Archmage down to very low health, as well as a couple of these Dragonhawk Riders being very low, but it looks like Hawk will be able to get away with so many low units. Fantastic play there by Hawk. Really really doing a great job of staying in this game, but Lucifer is now taking an expansion in the other corner. This is a very smart move there by him, especially considering that Hawk crept it out, so he doesn't know that Lucifer knows that it's been crept out even, let alone think that Lucifer is actually crept it out. But still, I think there's a potential here for harassment. Lucifer now creating a shade there, that's going to be so useful for following on these heroes, and at least until the Archmage hits level 6, then it becomes a bit more troublesome on this bigger map. And this Panda now actually could be in a bit of trouble, does need anti-magic shield as soon as possible. Bolt goes off, and it looks like all the focus going down on this Panda, who doesn't have an invuln pot, does have an anti-magic shield finally cast on him, but doesn't have the TP, which he really does need to be passed. Actually, no, he looks like he didn't buy another one, actually. Very, very big mistake there. It looks like he loses Panda, but the Archmage goes down. That's a level 7 hero for a level 5 hero on trade. Not a good trade there for Lucifer, but still, all these Dragonhawk Riders very, very low. -4 armor on them as well from the Acid Bomb, which is level 4 for Alchemist. Actually, it's a pretty high level Alchemist. I'm not sure last time I saw Alchemist that high level. This Mount King now going to be chased away, is cursed as well, so even not that likely to be getting off bashes or anything. And actually, Acid Bomb goes off at the last second. Very, very interesting play there. I'm not sure if that was an attempt to cancel a Arcane Scroll or something that was going to go off, but interesting choice there. Maybe considering he has a statue around, he can be happy to throw away his mana a bit there. But I wonder, is the Panda's actually being bought at the back at the altar, so that's going to take a long time to come back. And in the meantime, this Alchemist now has hit level 5, and that's just so powerful. We could even be seeing Transmute in this game. That would be insane. You know, it's the level 3 Mountain King trying to do some harassment. Does get a bolt off here on this Alchemist, but the Alchemist does have a huge amount of base hit points, 1100 hit points without really with only +2 strength to him. It looks like this Mountain King actually hitting level 4 now, so could be doing some chasing down of this of the Alchemist, who is getting a bit low, but still these Dragonhawk Riders are going to be able to do a huge amount of damage to the destroyers, even though they have +3 attack. Just it's not quite enough to actually fight off the huge amount of DPS from the Dragonhawk Riders, because obviously they cost a whole lot less, so you can get a whole lot more of them, and these destroyers are slowly going down. Meanwhile, the Mountain King does sort of have supreme range in this battle, because the Alchemist needs to be so careful about when he actually fights. But nice play here by Lucifer. He's using his Chemical Rage to get in and out of the battle very, very quickly, and then using his Acid Bomb, which is fantastic range. Really, really nice play here by Lucifer, managing to stick in this game with such an unconventional hero. And we do have this expansion has been taken and actually is being used, although there's one empty spot here by Lucifer. Would be nice to see that filled, but it's not too urgent there. I'm not sure what his food. He's actually at 55 food, so we probably should be sending one there just to be on the safe side, because actually it looks like this expansion is going to be harassed. This actually only had 4 on it for a long time, but finally being filled, and then immediately the harassment coming in. Looks like we will be having this Mountain King now on the run. Archmage should be back any second now, actually. Yeah, pretty soon. And it's going to be a bit longer for the Panda, because obviously the Panda was 2 levels higher. The Bolt goes off here on this Alchemist. Alchemist now very, very low in health, does need to run for it. Doesn't have an invuln pot, which I think is a bit of a mistake here by Lucifer. Lucifer really doesn't have an excuse for not buying items when he has 2 bases running at the moment. And Lucifer has picked up a Mud Golem, which is a good choice here. Does slow the Mountain King, so maybe he will be able to do some focus here with this Destroyer, so probably not enough to actually take down the Mountain King. And we do have a slow on the Dragonhawk Rider. That's a much better choice. But it looks like we do have an anti-magic shield cast on this Alchemist, who runs in, but the Archmage is now back. He needs to be very, very careful here. Lucifer now needs to run for it really on his with all his units, but he might even lose with his statue. Oh, the Panda's finally back now for Lucifer. Lucifer does get 1 haze off, 1 breath of fire, but looks like this Alchemist down to 15 health. Will he go down? Looks like he's on the run, and down to 9 health. And actually one of the Dragonhawk Riders gets taken down, and obviously the haze slowed them both down for a little while, down to 24 health. He is regenerating, but it looks like actually Lucifer tried to turn around to get off a Acid Bomb, but didn't quite time it correctly, and will be still on the run. Mount King actually down to 100 health, so it does need to be very, very careful. Lucifer runs to the back of his base. He does have a couple towers here, which will be able to slow things down, as well as his Black Citadel, and actually, he shouldn't be running down here. He has Body Healing Potion and has Body Healing Scroll as well, so he might be able to stay in this game. Actually, he's for a bit longer, but with this harassment going down, with Hawk taking another expansion, maybe Hawk's actually being able to make a bit of a comeback here. Necropolis now going down, as well as a Tome of Frogs. Good choices of buildings here, I think, for Lucifer. And Hawk now scanning out this expansion, and as I say, without any defensive, without any Ziggurats and Spirit Towers, you really can't hold on your expansions for long at all, and it looks like Lucifer are going to lose this expansion, and Chemical Rage even being used to bring this Alchemist into the battle very, very quickly. Finally a TP being bought here for Lucifer, and that's, I think, a lot too little, a lot too late. This Alchemist now actually needs to be very, very careful. Does want to get the kill here on this Mountain King. Mountain King down to 200 health already, and actually looks like this Alchemist might well go down. Does get bolted, does get staffed as well. It does use the Sealing Troll at the last second down to 120 health. Meanwhile, this Mountain King down at 60 health, 50 health now because of that acid bomb, and looks like he turns around and does use a TP at the last second, but as a result, oh my god, he noticed destroyers get in and get the Mountain King kill. Fantastic play there by Lucifer, who actually misses one statue in the TP, but oh my god, so close there by Lucifer. Really, really nice, playing it close to the bone, but does get that Mountain King kill, and does stay in the driver's seat of this game, which really, he has been in the driver's seat for most of the game, but still, he's sort of small mistakes can really cost you, especially when you're relying on just a couple really high health, really important heroes like this, and especially considering he doesn't have a way to heal them up easily either. Really, Lucifer does need to be so wary, and actually we have more harassment going on here by Hawk, taking down a couple of the acolytes already. A third one going to go down, probably all of them going to go down before the end. This Alchemist can be a lot more bold though, because without the Mountain King, really there's a lot less that can happen. And look at that, level 6 now on this Alchemist, can use Transmute, and actually there it goes there, fantastic skill. In case you don't know what it does, oh my god, this Alchemist actually down to 13 health, does have to TP away, and there's the GG as the Archmage goes down. Fantastic play there by both players. Oh my god, really amazing play. A Transmute even at the last second. As I was saying, actually, if you don't know what Transmute does, it allows you to target any unit, and it instantly kills that unit and gives you a bunch of gold as well. Fantastic skill, fantastic ultimate, and wow, what an amazing game. We saw a game with Transmute. I think I've cast hundreds of games for you guys. I don't think we've seen a Transmute ever before. Wow, amazing game there by both players. Hawk's had a fantastic style as of late, but Lucifer just being so dominant. So I hope you enjoyed that game, folks, and I'll bring you some more games in the near future. Thanks.